I have to start with asking a question. Zach, I thought you were leaving him alone tonight. You have to come in here if you're not helping him. We've been training Mike for a few months now, and tonight we're going to let him go solo without Zach sitting in the room, because previously Zach has sat with him, and he's been able to catch any little nuances. And tonight we're gonna put Mike to the test, so we'll see how he does. And I know he can do it because he's been paying attention, and Zach is a good teacher, and Mike is a smart kid. So, and we're off. Excuse me. And so now that I have Zach in here, that's going to be a whole nother problem for me.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay, because he's going to talk the whole time.
Of course.
Anyway, I think I mentioned that just about a couple months ago I started a new job, and I'm so happy there. The people are just such a breath of fresh air for what I was used to. Everybody is very kind and caring, and it's just a really great atmosphere. And there's one woman who she's just something else, and I've seen how people gravitate towards her and dote on her and just really and truly admire her and care about her and respect her. And I feel the same way. She's awesome. As I've gotten to know her, I think she's absolutely fabulous. And so tonight she said she was going to be watching, and I just want to say a special hello to Joanne, and hopefully you are watching. I know if you are, I'll hear all about it on Monday, but always like to know that somebody at least is giving the show a chance, if nothing else but to see what I do. And I really appreciate the time that you're spending right now, Joanne, to watch if you are. And so there's that. Okay. So a different kind of shout out now. I kind of has a sad today. I had a lovebird that I actually had to bring to the vet to help him transition to the other side. This little lovebird was born in my house. I had a pair of lovebirds that they had a great time together, let's put it that way, and I had nothing but eggs and babies and more babies. But the little guy that I said goodbye to today, born to his parents Jagger and Ruby, and his name was Tuesday because who's a Rolling Stones fan? Anyway, he was from the very first clutch of eggs that was produced by Ruby with Jagger, and he was a solo. He was the only one of the 5 eggs that was that hatched, and he hatched right about the time I lost my Daisy. I kind of missed the day that he actually hatched, so I was calling it October 10th. I'd lost Daisy on the 8th, and was a little incapacitated for a couple of days, and when I went to look at the eggs, there was this very naked little bug-eyed monster laying there where the eggs were. And I thought, oh my, now what do I do? These things were alive. They had ammo. And all I could do was pray that Ruby was going to be a good mother, and she was. The two of them were absolutely fabulous parents. But, I did the research, and I learned everything I could. And I waited, the appropriate, I think it's, however many weeks it was. I started pulling Tuesday out and feeding him with formula, and, he was hand tame for a good time. We had little play periods and little games we had, and he would always, squawk and we had our thing. We had our routine. If you ever had a bird, you kind of know how it goes. But 15 and a half is a very ripe old age, and it was really hard to say goodbye today. In the last day or so, I had definitely, he was a mess. I thought he had a stroke. thought he was just going to pass, but had to take him in. And I have to give props to Kensington Bird and Animal Hospital for just being so kind and so compassionate and taking good care of both of us and understanding, because it's what they do with birds, and not every animal hospital will treat small animals and birds. So when you find a place that you're comfortable with, because I've been there before. Tuesday is not the first bird that I had to help transition, so just a great big props and kudos and thank you to them for making a tough thing a little bit easier today, because I felt comfortable, and that makes a lot of difference. So RIP my little Tuesday. I'm gonna miss him. 15 and a half years is a long time, and especially, like I said, he was born in my house. I raised him, and that was like a connection that you don't get to have all the time. He still has one sibling from the next hatch, the next clutch, that is living, who is just about to be 15. And when Jelly Bean is gone, because they were born around Easter, so it was Eastery names, Peep, Jelly Bean, and Peter. They're all, Jelly Bean's the last one. That'll be the end of an era. It's kind of weird, but you who have pets for a long time do understand, no matter what kind they are. And honestly, I think Tuesday's probably one of the longest pets I ever had, believe it or not. I've had dogs from birth to death, and I've had, dogs live to be a ripe old age, from when I've gotten them, but this is kind of a weird thing, and it leaves a hole in your heart. Anyway, I'm going to get on to some critters that need homes, and hopefully you will see somebody who appeals to you, and hopefully you can go to the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page and share out some of these animals and help them find, if it's not yours, the homes that will be their forever homes. And most of them, I'm thinking of one or two that I may have to post on the page, but I'll do that. And please, by all means, share away. You never know who's going to see, and you never know who is going to be that person who can save that animal's life. So first up is Olivia. And look at that beautiful face. I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous, and she's got a heartbreaking story. She waited 446 days to find a home, only to be dumped back at the shelter when her people moved and weren't taking her with them. And what a horrible thing to do to a pet. Dogs or cats or any other pet, they're not a timeshare or a novelty to have while you feel like it. It boggles my mind that, I had a dog for a while, but we moved and I got rid of it. I mean, what do you think that does to the dog? This poor dog, 446 days is a long time. And, you dump them back at the shelter, and trust me, they feel the pain of that, and they understand that, they're not at home anymore, and did they do something wrong? And, all they want to be is with people. And the shelter, like I always say, as much as people will dote on the animals, it's not home. It's not, it's not the ideal environment for an animal. So it just makes me angry on her behalf. Anyway, Olivia was found abandoned in a basement with her brother in October of 2015. After those long 446 days, she went home on Christmas Eve. I think that was 2016. A year later, here she goes again. Olivia is about 4 years old now. She needs to be the only dog in the home. And if there are children, it's best that they're older teens. Olivia has her own Facebook page, and that's called Adopt Olivia, where you can find out more and message her page with any questions, or you can contact the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter directly at 516-785-5220. Once again, that's 516-785-5220. And, Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter's got over 100 dogs usually, so if Olivia is not your cup of tea, I'm sure you can find somebody that you can have a bond with. But as far as Olivia goes, please share her, and let's help her not spend another 446 days looking for a home. Let's get one that that'll stick. All right, so next up we have Melody. And that's what she thinks about being stuck in a shelter. And truly, I think that's the case. She is an 8-year-old beauty who is struggling with shelter life. She was able to go into a foster home for a while, where she was doing much better. But since she returned to the shelter environment, Melody is kind of slipping again. She's just really not happy and she's not thriving. She needs to be in a home. She's super sweet. She loves human contact. And, you know, she'll really thrive in a home after losing the only one she knew for her whole life. It's so hard on an animal. You know, when they've been in a home for a long time and they lose their home, it's devastating. When they bounce from home to home to home, it's confusing. These animals just really don't stand a chance. They really don't. Unless people commit. And commitment is a scary word for some people, but it shouldn't be. Anyway, Melody is located in Stamford, and if you are interested, you can apply at www.animalnation.org. Once again, that's www.animalnation.org. Next up is Patch. And Patch has been waiting for a home since his owner passed away in 2010. So that's a really long time. This poor guy, he's so handsome. Look at the little dots on his nose. Don't you just want to give him kisses? Zach's like, yeah. He's 9 years old, and he gets along with mellow cats and enjoys gentle petting and brushing from his people friends. I think that Patch really, really needs to know what home is like again. I mean, that's just an insane amount of time that this poor cat has been overlooked, and, you know, I don't understand. I don't know why, but can someone please consider taking this guy into their home? You know, 9 years old now, he's an older guy. It's not a big deal. Cats can live twice that. So look into those beautiful eyes and ask yourself if you can be the answer to poor Patch's prayers. So if you're interested, please contact the Pet Animal Welfare Society, aka Paws, in Norwalk, and their number is 203-750-9572. That's 203-750-9572. Also at Paws is this little nugget, Bandit. Look at him. I can't stand it. He's so cute. Bandit is a sweet and gentle 6-year-old who likes to be close to his people, take walks in the park, and get in some playtime with a good squeaky toy. If you'd like to meet Bandit, call Paws at 203-750-9572. Again, 203-750-9572. And like, who could resist? Look at the little, he looks like a little gentleman, doesn't he?
He looks like a little cute little beady eyes. You just kind of want to like...
Yeah, Zach wants to squish him and love him. Okay, next we have Delilah. And they're saying that she's running out of time. And those words hurt my soul. Delilah is about 2 years old and has lived most of her short life at the shelter. Because of that, poor Delilah really doesn't know what it's like to be a dog. She has lots of energy that she has no outlet for. She has little in the way of manners because she's never been in a home with people to love her and teach her. Delilah's is the typical story of a dog failed by people, and now she's about to lose her life as the ultimate failure. Delilah needs someone to step up right away and take her in and start from square one with her. She's just never had that, you know. Dogs like this are a little more work, true, but the return is rewarding for both Delilah and her angel. You know, obviously she doesn't know what's coming, but it's certainly not what she would want. And, you know, there's no reason for it. She just needs someone who gets her. She needs someone who has the patience and the time to teach her. And you know what, folks? If you don't teach your dogs how to be a dog, how to listen, how to behave, the cues that just are needed for everyday life, you're failing them. And this poor girl, you can't blame her. She has spent her whole life somewhere where she hasn't had that. So she needs that now. She needs someone to step up and make that commitment to save her very life. Unfortunately, you know, a dog like this doesn't go to someone who's going to take that time. She's going to bounce right back to a shelter because they're going to say she's out of control. And, you know, again, it's going to be a fail. So somebody please, with the commitment, a rescue, an individual, step up and do something to help this dog. If you can do nothing else, please share her. Running out of time is a serious thing. I don't want to see that happen to her. Look at that beautiful face. Anyway, if you are interested in being Delilah's hope and savior, please call 860-853-0773. That's 860-853-0773. And Delilah is located at the Essex, Connecticut Animal Control. Next up, we have Roxy. Look at that little face. I can't stand it. Roxy is a tiny girl in a big, scary world. She needs a home in a relaxed environment with someone who is patient and kind and who will guide her through life at her own pace. Roxy should not live with children. Potential adopters may need several visits with Roxy before being approved. You know, when you're dealing with a scared dog, you really can't push things because, you know, they may have a tendency to act out. And when dogs act out, they bite. And when they bite, it ends up being more trouble than it's worth. So you just don't want to push a scared dog. So she really needs someone. Look at the little gremlin face. I can't even stand how cute she is. Yeah, she looks like a little dust mop with bunny ears, with little bunny ears. But anyway, she definitely needs someone with some patience. Now, Roxy is located at the Upper Peninsula Animal Welfare Shelter, which is in Marquette County, Michigan. And I know that's a little far away, but I know that I also have people who are all over, and transports are available. So, you know, she's not particularly the dog that would be qualified for a transport, but stop letting zip code be a problem. You know, if you were really interested in her, you could go out there, spend a couple days, and, you know, you could make it work. And again, I know I have people all over, so it's very possible that someone here is connected to someone there who can make this little girl's dreams come true. If you are interested, please call 906-475-6661. Once again, that's 906-475-6661. I will take the camera back. Okay, so he didn't fall asleep. I wondered for a second. You're doing a good job, Mike. Keep it up. He's like not even answering me. He's like, All right, so this week, at long last, the Puppy Doe Trial began. Puppy Doe, if you're not familiar, and it's hard to believe that anybody wouldn't be, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. In August of 2013, she was found dumped in a park in Massachusetts, so horribly abused, unspeakably abused, and just really physically, literally broken. And she had to be put to sleep. She had to be relieved of her suffering because there just would not have been a quality of life for her, for all of the things that were done to her. The person was arrested, brought up on other charges because he was a real peach, and has gone through his trials and his sentencing for all that other stuff. Now it's Puppy Doe's turn, and Puppy Doe was a dog who was gotten off of Craigslist, which, you know, here you go, I could get up on the soapbox about why you don't give dogs away for free on Craigslist, because monsters like this guy love to scoop up free dogs. But, you know, her story was found out after the fact when her picture hit the news. Her name had been Kia once, and she was loved, but she was given away and fell into the hands of a monster. And this is where we stand. So it's been since 2013 that he's been gone through his other trials and etc., and he's been in jail this whole time, which is nice to know, just because, you know, whether it was for Kia or not, his wings have been clipped, so to speak. But now it's go time, and there's a lot of people watching. There have been a lot of stipulations put on attendance. I know people who have been attending the court dates all this time, and certainly am grateful to their loyalty, because they report back, and you know, we get to know firsthand what it was like in the courtroom. Certainly this guy's gone from being a fat, arrogant so-and-so to a very thin and drawn and changed individual. So that just kind of tells you that he's probably not having fun in jail, and that's okay too. But they're saying that the trial could last about 3 weeks. I know they've gone through, you know, the whole jury selection and everything, and going to be watching just like so many other people are, because this is definitely a case of interest for anybody I know is interested. But, you know, anybody who has a heart, anybody who ever read what happened to this poor dog, it's just beyond. And of course he's trying to say that it wasn't him, because, you know, why wouldn't he try to save his skin on something? But here's me hoping, more than anything else, that these charges do amount to punishment for so many reasons. You know, you think about Desmond's Law and Desmond's Army, and what a difference that's made here in Connecticut, and all the attention that that's gotten throughout the country. Maybe, just maybe, it's starting a movement where, you know, animal abuse is going to be taken more seriously and punished more seriously. And, you know, justice for Puppy Doe is pretty much all a lot of us are hoping for, because she suffered horribly, and her death didn't have to happen. Her suffering didn't have to happen. It's a very sick individual that would do the things to an animal, and I've discussed them on the air before. I'm just not, I don't know that I'm capable of it today, unfortunately. It's just one of the most horrific cases of torture and abuse. And, you know, again, he can deny it all he wants. The evidence is there. And so you can Google Puppy Doe and come up with the most recent news stories. You can get the backstory. You can see the pictures. You can probably read the reports as well, of the type of abuse if you want to do your research. I wrote about it in my column and again talked about it on the show previously, but I'm just not so sure I'm up to the specifics tonight. So if you're someone who, you know, prays or sends good thoughts or whatever, let's all kind of like channel our energy so that this comes out, so that there is justice, because there's too many cases where there isn't any. All right, so looking at the time, we're probably really close, but not so close that we can't run through the adoptables one more time, Mike. Just kind of scroll through them. We've got Olivia. We've got Melody. We've got Patch. Kitties. Zach's like all happy. Kitties. We've got Bandit. I still love his face. We've got Delilah. We've got Roxy. That little face is just so adorable. I just want to kiss her. And that's okay. Yeah, we can do it one more time. I mean, if any of these faces speak to you folks, you know, please reach out. The information's on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page. I think with the exception of Bandit, and I will get him up there, but, you know, if you go to the pause page, you have that link with Melody's picture, and, you know, you can go ahead and see what you can do. But share them. If you're in a position to help, please do so. These animals depend on you. Delilah's very life depends on someone stepping up and, you know, taking her in and making the commitment to work with her. And, you know, that's that. Where are we at with time, Mike? 10 seconds. Okay, well, you can give me the camera back. Stop paying attention to what's going on behind you. And I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. Thank you for watching, and have a great night. Until next week, goodbye. Oh. Oh. Alrighty.